Now the latest around the wide world of tropics. Tropical Weather Bulletin for October 12th. Today brings us 3 tropical systems active on the worldwide map, those being Tropical Storms Pamela, Kompasu, and Namtheun. 81 storms have formed so far on day 285 of the year. Jumping straight into the Atlantic, on day 134 of hurricane season, we see 2 areas of interest. One of them is Invest 93L, which has a 10% chance, whilst an uninvested area of interest to 93L's northwest has a 20% chance of formation in 5 days. Over on the Eastern Pacific, on day 150 of hurricane season, we only have Tropical Storm Pamela, soon to be a hurricane according to the NHC if it isn't one already by the time this bulletin goes out. Over on the other side of the Pacific, Tropical Storms Kompasu is making a close pass to the Philippines. Namtheun is moving west-northwest and will eventually curve to the northeast, and 96W has a 10% chance of formation as it tracks northwards. Over in the North Indian, one area of interest is active in the Arabian Sea side of things with a 10% chance of formation in 5 days. Jumping in the satellite imagery, starting off with the Atlantic, 93L is lingering about with its 10% chance, and the AOI currently south of Hispaniola and to 93L's northwest is expected to cross over Hispaniola and develop into a tropical system from there on out. In the East Pacific, Tropical Storm Pamela is close to hurricane status, yet again if it isn't one already, is currently expected to push northward and northeastward into Mexico. Kompasu is making a close pass to the Philippines over in the Western Pacific, and Namtheun is safely out to sea with its expected to track, northwest before its northeastern curve, and 96W is also expected to push northwards, and it shouldn't interact with Namtheun. Over in the Indian Ocean, 10% AOI is traceable in the Arabian Sea just off the coast of India. We will wait and see what this system attempts to do in the near future. You can also see Kompasu over in the East China Sea there. Pamela is expected to become a hurricane very soon, if not already by the time this bulletin goes out, and is expected to make its way into Mexico, possibly as a major hurricane. Sea surface temperatures now. The West Pacific still remains largely at 29 degrees, the Bay of Bengal registering 29 as well, with a pocket of 30-degree temperatures towards the coasts of Bangladesh and India, those temperatures extending over into the Arabian Sea as well. However, the further west you go, the colder you will get. The tropical Atlantic has temperatures of also 29 degrees, and the tropical East Pacific remains roughly around 28, those temperatures extending into the Central Pacific too. However, the subtropical East Pacific is still registering low to mid-20s. The sea surface temperature anomalies, starting off with the East Pacific. The area from Baja California to Hawaii and slightly past Hawaii remains cooler than average, with the La Nina making itself very profound in this image. The Atlantic pretty much is all above, with isolated pockets of below average. The West Pacific also remains largely warmer than average, however some areas off the coast of Japan have cooler than average temperatures. The North Indian is also above average apart from the Western Central Arabian Sea. On this day, we are taken back to 2016, where our main feature tonight is Hurricane Nicole, which was a Category 3 on this day as it approached Bermuda. Typhoon Songda was also active as a Category 4 equivalent typhoon, and Tropical Depression Airi had just reformed as a tropical depression moving westwards. And that brings us on to the Atlantic Storm naming list, excuse me. Last up is Wanda before we begin the auxiliaries with Adria. Up next in the Eastern Pacific is Rick, followed by Sandra. And in the Central Pacific, we mark 2 years of us insulting the basin for producing a simple tropical storm named Hone. Even the South Atlantic produced one, and it became a hurricane. Jumping over to the Western Pacific now, the next names here are Malawi, followed by Naito. I apologize if I butchered those names. Up next in the North Indian, it is Jawad, followed by Asani. Up next in the Australian region, we have Paddy, followed by Ruby. First up in the Southwest Indian is Anna, followed by Batsirai. And up next in the South Pacific is Cody, followed by Dovey. That's all from me for now. We'll see you for another Tropical Weather Bulletin tomorrow night.